You know, have you ever had that feeling where you're just more at peace by yourself than with a partner? It's kind of a weird thing to admit, but it's becoming surprisingly common. And today, we're going to dive into this huge shift in how we think about love, connection, and, well, being alone.
And look, this isn't just a random thought a few people are having. No, this is a huge sentiment that's popping up everywhere. I'm talking across different cultures, different age groups, a really powerful and, yeah, maybe to some, a concerning idea is starting to take hold.
And there it is. That's the core of what we're talking about today. The idea that for a whole lot of people, being alone, which we used to just call loneliness, actually feels more peaceful, more stable than being in a relationship.
So just think about that for a second. Have you ever felt that? That craving to be alone? And I don't just mean needing a little me time. I mean, like a real escape from the stress of a relationship. If you're nodding along right now, trust me, you are so not the only one.
Okay, so let's get one thing straight. This is not about bashing love. We're saying we should all give up on it. Not at all. It's about figuring out why. Why has being alone suddenly become this safe space for so many people? And the answer, really, is that it's a reaction to how relationships feel today.
All right, so let's jump into our first big idea here, and it all starts with expectations. I mean, the shift in what we expect from a partner is just massive. It's like the entire rulebook for relationships got thrown out and rewritten from scratch.
If you think about it, back in the day, love was, well, it was a lot more practical, right? It was about survival, having a stable home, and everyone pretty much knew their role. Emotional fulfillment, that was basically a bonus prize. Fast forward to now, and wow, we expect modern love to be the whole shebang.
I mean, just look at this list. It's basically an impossible job description we've handed to our partners. We want them to be our therapist, our best friend, our soulmate, our biggest cheerleader, and also help us figure out who we are. That is an insane amount of pressure to put on one single person.
And here's the bottom line, right? When you expect one person to be your everything, you're pretty much guaranteeing disappointment. It's just inevitable. And that feeling, that constant feeling of being let down, that's what really starts to grind you down.
Okay, so that's the psychological pressure. But it goes deeper. Let's talk about the biology of this. And this is fascinating, this feeling isn't just in your head. It's literally happening inside your nervous system. So to get this, we need to talk about a concept called emotional safety. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's that feeling where you can be 100% yourself, the good, the bad, the weird, without being afraid that you're going to be judged or rejected for it. It's a core human need, like food or water. And here's why that's so important. Your nervous system, you know that old school part of your brain that controls your fight or flight response? It's not very sophisticated. It literally can't tell the difference between a real physical threat, like a tiger, and an emotional one. So when a relationship feels unpredictable or unsafe, your body reacts with the exact same stress alarm.
Oh, and we all know what these triggers feel like, don't we? That constant, humming anxiety in the background, trying to figure out the tone of a text message, analyzing why they're being quiet. You're constantly on high alert, and that is absolutely exhausting for your nervous system. But then, what happens when you're alone? Poof, all of those triggers are just gone. There are no texts to decode, no silences to analyze, and your body can finally relax. That feeling we call peace, that's literally your nervous system taking a deep breath and calming down. It's a biological sigh of relief. So we've got the biological stress, which is huge. But there's another piece to this puzzle that leads to total burnout. And that's all the invisible work that goes into just keeping a relationship afloat.
Psychologists have a name for this. They call it emotional labor. And it's all that stuff that doesn't show up on a to-do list, right? It's de-escalating arguments, constantly providing reassurance, remembering all the important dates and details. This stuff is vital for a relationship, but man, when it's not shared equally, it becomes an incredibly heavy weight to carry.
And you can see exactly what happens here. Think of your emotional energy like a phone battery. You only have so much charge for the day. And when a one-sided relationship is hogging a massive chunk of that battery, you're left with almost nothing for yourself. It is like the absolute perfect recipe for burnout.
And what's really wild is that over time, this whole cycle of stress and exhaustion can literally rewire your brain. It's like you're training it. After enough disappointment, your brain starts to connect the idea of intimacy, which is supposed to feel good and safe, with stress.
So pulling away becomes a learned instinct, a form of self-protection.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. The crazy expectations, the biological stress, the emotional burnout. So what does this all add up to? Let's connect the dots and figure out what this choice to be alone is really about. And I think this is the most important takeaway of all. Choosing to be alone doesn't mean you're broken or you can't love. More often than not, it means that love, for you, has felt unstable, draining, or just unsafe. So it's not about running away from love, it's about running towards safety.
And this really is the path that so many people find themselves on. First, you have to just recognize that you're burnt out from all the relationship stress. Then, you use that alone time as a place to heal and get your head straight. And finally, you start to learn that your own emotional health is more important than some societal ideal of being in a relationship. It's a powerful choice for your own well-being.
At the end of the day, it really all boils down to this. The problem was never love itself. The problem is when love asks us to give up our own peace. We've kind of forgotten that one of the main points of love is to be a safe place to land in a world that's already pretty chaotic.
So I want to leave you with this one last thought to chew on. What if we just changed the goal? What if the point of a relationship wasn't this big, flashy, high-pressure thing called happiness, but something quieter, something more stable? What if the goal was just a shared sense of peace? Just imagine how that could change everything.